Hey guys, welcome back to the Hole Up Project. Hope everybody had a good 4th of July weekend. I know we sure did. Did all kinds of fun stuff. Probably drank too many beverages, pool parties and pallet rides and all the good stuff. So I'm back down here at the shop this morning, and I was going to catch you up to speed a little bit here. We did get our different water pump rebuild kit, and I'm kind of working my way through it. I'll kind of show you where I'm at here. They give you pretty detailed printout, what you need to do, all the specifications and everything on here, and then printouts from the manual, all included with this kit, so that's pretty nice. So far we've got our bearing shaft installed, and we've got the hub pressed on. In order to do this, so with this new impeller, it comes, the snout of it is quite a bit longer than what it is now, and you basically make a spacer that you set down inside the water pump housing and take your measurements from there. Your spacer needs to be 703 thousandths, and this is kind of what I used. I used the old hub and then 2 starter shims. Set them down in there, took my measurement to figure out the amount that I needed to cut off the snout of this new impeller. And as you can see, it not super easy to do. So how I did it, I just used the old grinding wheel over here and was able to get it fit in there between the blades to grind this. So we've got that down pretty close. Basically, when you're finished, you would set that down on top of your spacers, and the back side of these fins should be flush with the housing. So that's where we finished with that. I did bring a flat file down just to make sure that surface is good and flat, square. We've got this little bushing here we've got to get pressed in. The seal. So this kind of seal presses over top of this bushing, I believe, if I'm reading it right. So this needs to get pressed onto the shaft, and it'll go down in here, and that'll set your spacing and all that. And then once you press this impeller on, it should be flush with the outside of this gasket surface, or just barely below it. So that's kind of where we're at with that. Once I get all that done, finally can get that put back on the engine here, throw it on, bolt it all up, and then I can start putting the brackets on. Manifolds are ready to go. This one's already installed. Got those cleaned and painted and installed. That side anyway is done. Threw the plugs in it quick. We did end up buying a new fuel pump shaft, and I'll kind of show you why. This old one, if you can see that, has kind of like a machined nub on the end of it, and the other side is just flat. Well, basically what happened with that, I think I showed it in one of the videos, it grooved out the cam pretty bad, if you can see that. So essentially, once it did that, this wasn't getting the correct lobe to run the fuel pump the way that it should have. So we ordered a different shaft that was smooth flat on both ends. That way it couldn't wear that cam, the new cam, like that. So that's installed in there. What else did I get done? Good Lord. if you guys can even hear me. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's really it so far. This is kind of a little bit of a time-consuming process here. Since I did a video on rebuilding the water pump already, I didn't figure anybody would care to watch this one, even though this one's correct and the other one was not correct. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of continue on with this water pump here. Oh, I know what else I want to show you. So I broke this, and I did have a fella reach out that you can order those spacers. I had a buddy of mine actually make this for me. He owns H&H Manufacturing. So basically I just gave him a gasket, and here we are. Here's my spacer. Fill the gasket on each side, and this one actually goes on this manifold over here. And that'll fit right on there like that. And eliminate that heat flapper. So that came out pretty good. If anybody wants any information on where to get these, feel free to reach out. And I'll let you know. He made me 2 of them. So those turned out really nice. So we've got those ready to go. And I've got a bolt to drill out of this balancer here. I forgot that I'd broken one off. I'm trying to get the engine unstuck. So I've got to get that drilled out. Then we can get our pulley on. And get the water pump on and get its pulley on and make sure that they line up nice for us. So we're plugging away. So I'm going to keep working on this water pump assembly here and show you as I'm going. All right, well, we got that together. Like I said, the hub's on. There's the impeller with the copper washer back in there that you can't see in the bushing, and the seal. Spins free. No noise. Fingers crossed. We'll see how that works. Now, get the rest of this cleaned up, get it painted, and we'll move on to some other trinkets, you know. All the things. Back in a bit. Alright, well, we're back down here. Got the puppy dog down here. Get a little drink of water. This is all painted up. I just did a real quick water test, filled it through different ports just to make sure that I didn't have anything coming out of the weep hole. Everything looked good there. So we got a couple gaskets to clean up quick, and we're gonna get this thing tossed on, and then we can start getting some brackets put on the engine up there, and yeah, keep on rolling. This is probably gonna be a pretty short video due to time constraints. Had that a lot lately, if you haven't noticed. Also, if you haven't seen, or if you watch Mortsky Repair, he sells these super scrapers. This is the, I don't remember which model of this one is, but they make multiple different sizes and whatnot. And they work really, really, really well. They have like a carbide tip on them basically. And they're actually made right here about 30 minutes from me. Cedar Rapids, Iowa area. Yeah, so if you don't watch Mortsky Repair, go check him out, and you can pick up a super scraper from him. I'll set you up here and you can kind of see how well it works on these gaskets. Takes them right off. Cleans your surface up nice. These things honestly work better than anything I've ever used. And, you know, the old razor blade trick, that works pretty good, but you go through razor blades like crazy. This thing, they just work. All right, got that cleaned up. This is all ready. Got a couple of the bolts over here. I need to get a couple more over here ready to go. These are all for the crank bolt or the balancer. I still need to get that bolt out of there. And I was smart enough to paint over it, so, you know, a lot of brilliance there. But walk over and get our water pump gaskets here. Let's see, should be those guys there. Possibly these, are they the same? A little bit different. Let's go see what we got here. Alright, so that one's too big for there. Correct for there and there probably, and then two smaller ones up here. Those must be smaller. That one's definitely a small one. That's a bigger one. Of course, multiple sets of these because all the different rebuild kits that we've bought. So I think what we'll do is we will get our former gasket Permatex aviation stuff here, and we're just gonna put a nice thin coat on these gaskets so they stick in place. Actually, we'll just put it right up there. Okay, there's that one. I feel like Bob Ross here. Let's go right up in here. Then he makes like some crazy awesome tree or happy little cloud, or, you know, you guys have all watched him. Okay. Dip my brush in the old palette here. This little bit of paint that's on the block ain't gonna hurt these sealing up. All right, well, it took me a second there. This is the AC mounting bracket. So that kind of bolts over the top of the water pump here. It took me a minute to figure out bolt lengths. And then you've got this bolt for the AC bracket. These two bolts here will be power steering when that gets bolted back on, so we can't put those two in yet. Power steering also bolts to these top two up here of the thermostat housing once we get that on. Torque spec is 25 to 30 foot-pounds for these, so we'll get what we can torqued to spec and keep on keeping on. Also, this bracket here, also for the AC, we've got one technically a head bolt, I guess, to put back in for that bracket, and then intake manifold bolt for that bracket. So we'll get that put on, and then really there's really not much left until it goes in. So we'll get this all torqued. I want to get this distributor set correctly. After thinking about it more, everyone who's commented has been correct. This, I mean, yes, you can have this pointing at number one as long as your first plug wire to fire is going to be placed there on the cap. Apparently where Cadillac wants it, they want this facing the back with number one here. So it doesn't really matter where you put it as long as you're firing number one first and your firing order is correct on your cap. So that's just what we're gonna do with that. We'll probably set it up how Cadillac wants it set up, I guess. I've also got to figure out what to do here to get this sealed. I don't know if I can put some sort of sealant on that. But we'll wait until we mount the carb before we put that on, so we're not moving it all around. Now we've got, once we get these brackets in place and we get this set where we need it, we'll get the rest of these intake bolts in there and torqued. And I haven't put the valve cover bolts in yet either. Just kind of making sure I've got everything kind of set up right. These engines are a little goofy with all their overlapping brackets and whatnot. So we'll just keep plugging away here. Yeah, so let me get these torqued down and we'll go from there. We'll go ahead and put our thermostat in too. Grab that. these two should be right. Well, that one lines up nice. Interesting. Same gasket. I'm not exactly sure why I've got two. But when in Rome, I suppose. Put these two on this side in. And those two, like I said, are for the power steering pump. Along with those. So we'll leave those out. I wish this GoPro had zoom on it. It's a nice pickup. She's a beaut. She's a beaut. We'll just snug those for now, and we'll torque them when we get the engine in and put the power steering bracket and bolts back in here. So we've got two heater hoses to come through to put on there. And then here's what I was saying with the power steering bracket. So those top two go on the thermostat housing, and the bottom two bolt to the water pump. So that should work out nice. I need to get in here and get some of these hoses replaced and those heater hoses. Hopefully I can get away with not using formed ones to the point where they don't kink or anything. So we'll find out. Man, it's noisy out there tonight. All right, well, I mean, really, there's not a ton left, guys. Now the trick is finding time. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I'll show you where we ended up, and we'll wrap this video up. Like I said, it's gonna be a short, quick one. And I'll be on vacation next week, so hopefully things will slow down a little bit and we'll get this thing dumped in. So roll the engine back over, number one top dead center. Reset the distributor to number one being right here. So this will be number one. I should get a Sharpie and write it on that because I'll forget. Brackets are on, water pump's on, thermostat housing's on, manifold. I still need to get that bolt out of that one. And I've just kind of been organizing and gathering bolts and stuff for right now. The distributor hold down's right here. It needs to be cleaned up and cleaned up and painted probably, so we'll do that. But that's where he goes. Now if that's all set, was gonna tighten the plugs and throw wires on, but I've got one plug I think it's this guy, that I'm missing the washer. So I don't know where that one went, and these plugs look really good, so I don't really want to go buy another set. So I'll have to look around and see where that could have gone. I'm not exactly sure how we would have been missing one, unless it was missing from when we got it. So that's just kind of sitting in there. But yeah, I was gonna get all these tightened up. I guess I could put all the wires on and leave number 2 off to when I get a plug or whatever and throw that in. Yeah, I'm sure there's some other things that I'm missing. We got our brake-in oil here. I threw the little oil cap on. Can't really do a whole lot else until it's ready to go in, so I can work on some of the stuff here, hoses and whatnot. Just don't have any time left. It's Thursday night, 6 o'clock. Still have to edit this, which shouldn't take too long because it's, like I said, it's gonna be short. And also definitely could get the inside of the old girl cleaned up and put back together. And I really want to visit this wiring in here and figure out what it's gonna take to get all that dug out of there and fixed. Because I'm sure once I fix the 3 or 4 that are broken, there's gonna be others that follow suit. But I did get all the wiring up there on the rack, and I ordered some more. Actually, this is all 18 up here. This is 16, so that should be a little better, more what we're looking for. There's probably not a ton of that on these old cars. I'm sure it would work, but yeah, just kind of getting things prepped and ready. I'd love to get this thing cleaned out too. We could also work on the brake booster, figuring out the brake booster and the lines and proportioning valve that's going to have to go on. Of course, all of our gaskets here, and I showed you guys these. Again, H&H Manufacturing made those for me in LaPorte City, Iowa. So yeah, anyway, that's gonna wrap this one up. Hopefully the next one is us putting the engine in. Things will start slowing down a little bit here, and well, you guys all know how summer goes. It gets away from you real quick. So appreciate everybody watching. Give us a subscribe, it helps out quite a bit, and a like. We've been thinking about making some t-shirts too. Just kind of a fun thing to do. So if anybody's interested in a shirt, drop a comment down below under the video, and we'll consider doing something like that. So all right, we'll see you in the next one.